Hello, my dear children. In the last session, we learned about storming of Bastille, French society during the 18th century, and causes for the French Revolution. In this session, we'll be learning about outbreak of French Revolution. So all these political, social and economic causes resulted in the outbreak of the revolution. And as the king decided to increase the tax, he had to call a meeting. The meeting of the Estates General. In France of the old regime, the monarch didn't have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. He had to call a meeting of the Estates General, which would then pass his proposals for new taxes. The Estates General was a political body to which the three estates sent their representatives. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in the year 1614. How do you think he could have gone about doing this? On 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called together an assembly of the States General to pass proposals for new taxes. The venue was one of the hall in Versailles. First and second estates sent 300 representatives each. They were seated in rows facing each other. 600 members from the third estates, including prosperous and educated members, stood at the back of the hall. Peasants, artisans, and women were denied entry to the assembly. But their grievances were written in 40,000 letters brought by the representatives with them. In the past, each estate had one vote. Louis XVI was determined to follow the same practice. The members of the Third Estate demanded that voting now be conducted by the Assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. This was one of the democratic principles put forward by philosopher like Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. King rejected this proposal. Members of the Third Estate walked out of the assembly in protest. The representatives of the estate viewed themselves as the spokesmen for the whole French nation. Another historic event, that is, the Great Tennis Court March, was a part of that. On 20th June, they assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the ground of Versailles. They declared themselves a national assembly and swore not to disperse till they had drafted a new constitution for France and that would limit the powers of the monarch. They were led by Mirabeau and Arbesias. Mirabeau was born in a noble family but was convinced of the need to do away with a society of feudal privilege. He brought out a journal and delivered powerful speeches to the crowds assembled at Versailles. Abesias, originally a priest, brought an influential pamphlet called What is the Third Estate? While the National Assembly was busy at Versailles drafting a constitution, on the other side they were in turmoil. A severe winter had meant a bad harvest. The price of bread rose. Often bakers exploited the situation and hoarded supplies. After spending hours in long queues at the bakery, crowds of angry women stormed into the shops. At the same time, the king ordered troops to move into Paris. In the countryside, rumors spread from village to village that the lords of the manor means an estate consisting of the lord's lands and his mansion, had hired bands of brigands who were on their way to destroy the ripe crops. Caught in a frenzy of fear, peasants in several districts seized hoes and pitchforks and attacked chateaux. Chateau means a castle or stately residence belonging to a king or a nobleman. They looted, hoarded grain, and burned down documents containing records of manorial dues. A large number of nobles fled from their homes, many of them migrating to neighboring countries. Faced with the power of his revolting subjects, Louis XVI finally accorded recognition to the National Assembly and accepted the principle that his powers would from now on be checked by a constitution. On the night of 4th August 1789, the Assembly passed a decree abolishing the feudal system of obligations and taxes. Members of the clergy too were forced to give up their privileges. Tithes were abolished and lands owned by the church were confiscated. As a result, the government acquired assets worth at least 2 billion livres. Finally, France becomes a constitutional monarchy. We'll understand in detail what is a constitutional monarchy. The National Assembly completed the draft of the Constitution in the year 1791. Its main object was to limit the powers of the monarch. These powers, instead of being concentrated in the hands of one person, were now separated and assigned to different institutions: the legislature, executive, and judiciary. This made France a constitutional monarchy. Let us discuss about the political system under the Constitution of 1791. The Constitution of 1791 vested the power of lawmaking in the National Assembly or the Legislative Assembly of 745 members. They were elected indirectly by a body of electors voted by the citizens belonging to the category of active citizens. Who are these active citizens? Active citizens included men above 25 years of age and those who paid taxes equal to at least 3 days of a laborer's wage. The remaining men and all women were classed as passive citizens and had no right to vote. To qualify as an elector and then as a member of the assembly, a man. You have to note a man, not a woman. Only a man. Those who belonged to the highest bracket of taxpayers had the right to vote. The next body of executive constituting the king and the ministers controlled the legislative assembly and had the veto power. What is meant by veto power? Veto means constitutional right to reject a decision or proposal made by a law-making body. At last, judiciary was the independent body. That is, it is not under the control of both legislature or the executive. Look into this famous figure given, which was painted by the famous artist Le Barbère in 1790. The figure on the right represents France and the figure on the left symbolizes the law. So now we will know about the Constitution of 1791. The Constitution began with a declaration of the rights of man and citizen. Rights such as the right to life, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law were established as a natural and inalienable rights. That is, they belong to each human being by birth and could not be taken away. It was the duty of the state to protect each citizen's natural rights. The majority of men and women in the 18th century could not read or write. So images and symbols were frequently used instead of printed words to communicate important ideas. So looking into the figure, the first one, the broken chain. Chains were used to fetter slaves. A broken chain stands for the act of becoming free. The second one, the bundle of rods. One rod can be easily broken, but not an entire bundle. Strength lies in unity. The eye within a triangle radiating light, it is symbolic of the rays of the sun will drive away the clouds of ignorance. Scepter is a symbol of royal power. Snake biting its tail, it's a symbol of eternity. A ring has neither beginning nor end. The red Phrygian cap, cap worn by a slave upon becoming free. Blue, white, red, the national colors of France. The winged woman is the personification of the law, and the law tablet, that is, the law is the same for all, and all are equal before it. Before concluding, let us see the timeline of events that has happened till now in this session. Starting with 1774. In the year 1774, Louis XVI becomes King of France and faces an empty treasury. Then the year 1776, France under Louis XVI helps America in the War of Independence. 1789, Assembly of the Estates General was called upon. Then the important historic event, the Tennis Court March. It results in the storming of Bastille on 14th July. And 1789, 4th August, abolition of feudal system. And the year 1791, completion of draft of the Constitution by the National Assembly, and France becomes a constitutional monarchy. Okay, let us recap before conclusion. We learned about the outbreak of the French Revolution, the States General, the Assembly of SA General in the year 1789, storming of Bastille, abolition of feudal system in France and how it becomes a constitutional monarchy, political structure under Constitution of 1971 in France, and the political symbols. Okay, meet you in the next session. Thank you.